Welcome into the GATOR Report. I'm here with head coach Dan Goodspeed. Dan, it's been a while since we last met.
I know. It's good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's good to be doing the podcast again and start getting ready to go to the season.
Getting excited.
It's exciting, yeah. Football's back soon. CFL's already started.
That's right.
NFL starting training camps.
Yeah.
And here we go.
Here we go. This is year 3?
Year 3, yep. Year 3.
So all your time in professional football, NFL, CFL, XFL, you know, things are never the same from year to year, right? There's personnel, there's facilities, guys moving from team to team, all kinds of stuff is changing.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny you mention that because I say to our team all the time, as we get ready to finish that last game of the season, I say, hey, look around this room, this team will never be the same. That's what football is, changing year to year.
Yep.
And it doesn't change if it's a high school thing, it doesn't change if it's a pro thing, because those locker rooms change all the time too, free agency, draft picks and all that. So it's never the same team every year.
Right. So you have some changes for
Absolutely.
the Gators
Yeah.
this year in a lot of different ways. So tell us a little bit about maybe some of the coaches. Do you have any changes on the staff, the players? Obviously, graduated some players.
Yeah.
You got some things changing around at the facilities.
Absolutely, yeah. First off, it was a pleasure to coach those seniors. They just worked their tails off and bought in when I first got here, and it paid off a lot for them. I mean, they learned a lot, and they played a lot of great football. I think 5 of them, went on, they're going to go on to play college football, which is exciting for me. I get to watch them on Saturdays.
Right.
4 of them are going to be close. We could probably fly down and see a game on Saturday, so I'm super excited and proud of them. A couple of them made career choices, military. Jeff, he's going to go into the electrical side of things, starting a great trade. Super proud of that. I mean,
Yeah.
My family his background is electricians, so
Yeah.
I know that's a great thing for him. So it's, we'll miss them, but I'm proud of them moving on and starting their life.
Sure.
But there'll always be a seed and a part of them, in my head, because it was a fun crew.
Yep.
And got a lot of good experiences with them. So, but like you said, things change, and so now we're looking to the future, into this season. We've had really good workouts so far. Our numbers have been way up. I mean, we're averaging about 85 kids, something like that, players coming out. That's really good. Our facilities are starting to change. The school has put in new practice fields in the back, and you saw it when you're standing out there.
Yep.
They're plowing down, so we'll have plenty of practice space, which is amazing, something that Land O'Lakes hasn't done in a long time, change that. And, the rumors keep swirling about things to come, so we'll just wait. But I'm thankful for practice space.
Yep.
That's a really good thing. We have a couple new coaches in different roles. Coach TP is going to join us this season. He's one of my former players from River Ridge.
Okay.
He told me he started as a freshman, I believe it was, and worked his way up every year, was a starter since he was a freshman, and he told me, he's like, Coach, I'm going to go play college football. And I said, well, go follow your dream. And he worked his tail off and went to Adrian College up in Michigan, played 4 years up there, got his teaching certificate, and now he came back and he said, Coach, I'd like to get into coaching. Is there any advice? And I said, well, if you're going to be coaching, you're going to be on my staff.
There you go.
And he's kind of run away, just ran with it. He's done an amazing job. The boys interact with him well. He still looks like he could play. Maybe we can get him back. I don't know. But and he's just a player that, and we talked about this before, the thing for football for me is that relationship that you build over time.
Yeah.
And then when they do go away, and he used to text me, Coach, we're playing on this, and you can watch us here. Hey, the season's going great. And then, when they come back in the summer, hey, Coach, let's get some lunch.
Yeah.
Those are those relationship things. Then you come back, and now I saw him as he was a freshman, and he's grown up and went to college, and then now he's going to start his career, and he wants to be a coach. So I said, hey, let's mentor you up and form the next great coach here in Pasco.
Yeah.
So and I love that. So he'll be helping with the linebackers, and he'll be coordinating the defensive side of the ball for the JV.
Okay.
So that'll be nice because this year we're going to have a JV staff.
Nice.
What we want to do is pull everybody together. So when we do indies, so they're hearing from the varsity coaches.
Yep.
And then when we split to go to team, we'll move the JV onto their own field so they can work on their plays.
Again, another reason to have the
Extra field space, yeah. So, it's a plan. It's like nobody knows, but it's starting to connect right there.
Yep.
And that's the vision that we've talked about. What's the
I remember
vision
year
going forward?
one and year two, sitting down and talking to you about, eventually we're going to have a JV staff, and it's a building process.
It's a building process. Nothing changes overnight. It's the same thing. It's the buzzword now is culture. The culture doesn't change overnight, but it changes a little by little. And there's buy-in and there's buy-in. And it's just like we had some struggles last season during the middle of the year. But everybody was bought in and they kept fighting for it. There was no turmoil on the sidelines. There was just, hey, we're going to fight for each other and figure it out. And we did. There's a lot of injuries too that went along with it, but that's a different story.
Well, speaking of injuries and folks graduating, now it's a new team. Some guys are going to have to step into bigger roles.
Absolutely, yes.
Specifically, you graduated your quarterback. I think, what's the game plan there? I know we got some young guys, and we're going to be expecting a lot out of who we have. So who are some of the guys that you think are going to step up?
Wow. So, starting offensively, I think Grayson Benoit, he stepped in at center. He was always up for the varsity games last season. Didn't get a lot of playing time. We stuck him in situational things or to give him some mop-up time because we knew he would be hopefully the center of the future that we could grow and build with. Looking for big things out of him. Nori is another lineman. I expect big things out of him. Now, he started along with Grayson in the spring game, and that was kind of like throw them into fire because they're both sophomores, but they fought, right, and they responded. So that'll be good. So that'll solidify our offensive line. We have Cole Greenwell at left tackle, who, he's been solid through the 3 years I've been here with him, and just kind of grow him, getting a lot of looks.
Had a big injury last year.
He had an injury, but he's back. He's healed. He's been really bought into lifting weights. He's getting stronger. He's getting faster. He's been going to all his camps because his dream is to play college football, which I think is the correct dream for him.
Sure.
He just got a PWO from FAU with your hat.
Yep.
So that's exciting, and there's going to be a lot more to come for him. And it'll be exciting for me because obviously as a lineman, not saying I want any of my other positions to go, but as a lineman, you kind of you have a little spot for
under a coach. Goodspeed should be cranking out these lines.
Exactly, right. A guy who's really impressed over the summer and in the spring was Brendan Thompson. He's Skeeter. We call him Skeeter. He has been coming off the football. He's gotten bigger. He's the leadership, something I didn't expect 2 years ago from him, and now I'm seeing it. So I'm really excited to see how he can play, and he shows a lot of physicality. Outside the receivers, JT, he'll be a new face. He's got some height.
I thought I saw him.
Yes, right,
yeah.
and he's something that's a prospect that he could grow into something really special.
Yeah.
Then you have X Clemente.
Thought he had a nice spring game.
He did, and he's getting faster. He just told me some numbers from a camp he went to, and I told him, I said, I don't doubt it. You've been working your butt off. He's winning every rep, just as he should. He's a competitor.
Yeah. And what year is he?
He'll be going into his junior, which I thought I had him for an extra year, but I don't. So I feel like, my time's going quickly with him. So we got to make sure that we do what we can to get him moving, and I'm excited to see him. We get Chance Robertson back. He's going to be really good in the slot scenario. And then we have, whoever plays onto the X or Z on that side. Along with that, we're going to bounce those receivers around, and then we have Zach Campbell playing Y, who's very capable of catching and blocking. So it'll be exciting on offense. And then, at the pivot, you said Kyle graduated. We have Chance Houston stepping in, which, he's a very capable quarterback. We're going to try to put small things on his dish at a time as he goes and kind of build him into the quarterback that I see that can really control an offense. If we can control our slides, if we can, kill a play or check opposite, things that, quarterbacks you hear on TV doing.
Right.
And I think he's got the knowledge and skill set to do that. So, but, my excitement for him, you got to pull it back. You got to make sure we're putting small things on the plate first, but I think he can handle it, and he's done a nice job. And, we've talked a lot, and I think it'll be an exciting season for him.
Yep.
And then finally, the tailback position, TJ's there. You got Mason. Ethan. I mean, there's a lot of options. I'm waiting for someone to step up and take it.
There you go.
Yeah.
So a little competition at that position.
We actually have a lot of competition this year in some positions. Other ones will be a little thin, but that's high school football. It's not like we bring free agents in.
Okay, well, all that, those guys are going to need to step up. Some sophomores are going to need to step up. All that requires preparation. So it kind of takes us into the off season and, you know, what's going on, what happened here today, what's happening every day here. So tell us about the summer program.
Yeah, so we start workouts at 7:30. I like to get us in and get us out. That way, if someone has a job, they can go work their job and I don't have to hear that issue. It's summertime. I want the boys to enjoy their summertime. They only get 4 of them before they go into the workforce or whatever. But we also want to get our work in. We start at 7:30, stretch, a little football knowledge, I call it a module. We go in and talk about how you're supposed to, hold a football or how we carry things and all the basics that, kind of gets glossed over in training camp.
And you got to remember you have freshmen.
And freshmen, right, they need to learn.
Yep.
Yeah. And so we do just a little formational work to make sure we're ready to go. And then we get right into a team movement. I think that's important to compete in a team movement situation. So you actually put all your speed work and your strength together and be competitive with it. Then we'll get into a actual speed training session, and then we'll hit the weights hard. And we're fortunate now because we have 2 weight rooms, one in the back and one here, so we can split up our groups. I don't like the team being apart, but I also like us to be efficient so we can get our lifts, because I don't want them here all day, right? Well, I feel like the 2.5 hour window that we can get in and get out, is that what we're doing? 2 to 3 hours, right, is the maximum we can hit until energy levels get down. We need to rehydrate and all that stuff.
Diminishing returns.
Diminishing returns, exactly. So, and then, I'm a huge rest and recovery guy. Go home, eat, rest for a little bit, then, do the rest of your evening. Go to work, go hang out with the guys, do what you do.
So for our audience who is parents, maybe some freshman parents, some faculty, student body that may be not familiar with the progress of the off-season program. You got to have so many practices before you get to this level, and then the pads, and then this, and so tell everybody about that.
So the next, after we get through the summer workouts, which we're acclimating right now to the heat, and that's more important to me to get the boys in shape for Florida because it's a different animal. It's hot, right? And the main concern I have during the summer is a heat issue, right? Not so many as injuries, but we want to get ahead of injuries by doing some prehab work. But for me, it's to make sure that we're making friends with the sun is what I tell the boys. Hey, let's make friends with the sun. It's going to be here the rest of the way.
Yep.
So state-wise, they say we have to have, I think, 5 acclimation days, 3 in helmets, and then 2 in pads, and then you can move on. But for me, acclimation starts now. Getting us moving in the heat, not in the direct heat, but enough to, feel it, and then learn how to tailor our bodies to it, hydrate, taking in the right kind of nutrients, making sure we're not cramping. We did have a little cramping issue in the spring game, which, that's why you play spring games, to see what you need to fix, right? And we'll fix that.
There's plenty of heat at 7:30 to
there's plenty
10:30.
I'm on my 3rd shirt for the morning.
Yeah, well, there you go. Tell us about how you are evaluating the guys. I know that a lot of stuff hasn't started yet, but what are the things that you're as you got some new players?
Yeah, absolutely.
Some different people, and you got some young guys and even the returning guys. What are you looking for over the summer? What kind of things?
Well, one, commitment. Who's here? Now, I encourage them to take a week off and go on vacation with the family. I want them to enjoy their time. But it's just, if you're here in Land O'Lakes, it's time to work. I don't expect a ton of hours out of you, right? Because we run out of juice. But when we're here, we're working. And it's all about those little details that, you kind of see in the movies and the motivational posters. But it's true. Are we finishing through a line? Right? Are we going to the line? Are we enthusiastic? Are we running from drill to drill? Those kind of little things, those are the ones that your teammates, your seniors, your juniors that are playing notice that from an underclassman and say, well, this guy needs to be on the field.
Right.
So it's all that bunch of those things that come together, and how people move, how if their body's ready weight room wise, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's all being evaluated.
Yeah, you hear about all that from college coaches and so on and so forth, but
yeah, no, I mean
true.
it's part of the process.
Yeah.
It's those little things that all make all the difference in football.
Okay. So you had a parents meeting for incoming freshmen. We didn't attend that, but what were the numbers like? What was your overall thoughts?
Yeah, it's a great question, because I get in there and I asked the staff to have tables so I could present a PowerPoint, so we could go over things. And I walk in and there was a lot of tables set out, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know, is this too many? It's going to look empty in here.
Right.
But it filled up.
Okay.
And that was exciting.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I saw, which I haven't seen in the past, which just really excites me, was when we were done and we talked, all the boys that have played with the different groups in the area, be it Pine View, the Predators, the Little Gators,
yeah.
wherever they may be coming from, and they kind of knew each other, they got up and put their arms around each other and said, hey, we're in high school. It's high school football time. Right?
Yeah,
but that shows
cool.
a connection.
Yeah.
Right?
Super
and if you can keep those together and build on those,
Yeah.
that's when you're doing the program right and you're moving in the right direction.
Sure.
Because those guys that have already played together and been playing for a long time, right? They already kind of have that, familiarity with each other,
Yep.
and they can move it together. So I was really excited to see that.
Yeah, they're going to push each other at the next level,
Yes,
Yeah,
because
for
that's
sure.
what it's all about. Playing
Yeah.
with your friends, pushing, and bleeding blue and gold.
Yep, there you go. Well, that's exciting to hear, because I know you're trying to continue to build this thing, and you gotta backlog it, right? So
For sure. Well, I mean, there's some other exciting news too. We just worked with the middle school to find a head coach to be there, and he was hired, and there's going to be an announcement about it. But just kind of like the same vision of just kind of growing the process.
Yeah. Yeah, we've always, I've been around the program for a number of years now, and it's always been a team, but I think I can feel it moving into a program at this point, the whole feeder system and coming up, so that's great.
Well, yeah, it's just giving the students here in Land O'Lakes the best opportunity to play football and be successful.
Over the summer, I saw a bunch of college coaches coming to visit, if you monitor that
Right. Yeah.
Twitter world.
Yeah.
you
No.
can
In
see all
spring.
that.
In spring. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that was one of the biggest things. I mean, the biggest complaint I've always gotten. Well, a couple things when I first took on the program. Like, nobody gets recruited out of Pasco. Nobody gets recruited from Land O'Lakes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's what I can do for the boys. I can get their film into the hands of the people that need to see it. Now, their play is going to have to, be the determining factor, but most of my former teammates now are in coaching positions at the college level.
Sure.
So it gives me a nice little opportunity when I go visit. Plus, when I do my scouting for the Florida schools, I can go talk to their coaches, things like that, or I can reach out across the country.
Yep. Well, I don't know if you know, but there are just short of a half a dozen guys from the alumni that went to the NFL from Land O'Lakes. There's plenty of guys that went to college and played, quarterback for FSU, and
Right.
there's a history here.
We've talked about what are my goals here at Land O'Lakes.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I've had opportunities to coach at other places, hired in the college ranks, go back to the NFL, go back to the CFL. But this is my community and what we're trying to do for it. One, give the boys a great Friday night.
Yep.
It will always be number one, right? Two, teach them safe football and good football. So when they watch the games on Saturday or Sunday, right, they'll say, hey, we do the same exact things, right? I'm not inventing football, right? It's the stuff that works. And then three is if they have the ability and the grades and the desire to go play college football, because college football is hard, right, especially Division I, that they have that opportunity and get there. And I think we bridge that between doing the website, doing the prospect sheets, mining these coaches from the different conventions, and then just people that I know. So if there's a player and who wants to play, I want to bridge that gap, right?
Yeah.
Because I love playing college football. I thought it was one of the best times of my life. And I hope to share that with them, just as much as I like playing high school football.
Yeah, for sure. And I noticed in the spring game we had the graduating seniors in the end zone.
Right.
The guys that were going off to college, which I thought was awesome. And,
Yeah.
and I'd like to see, when they're homecoming or whatever, whenever they're back on breaks and stuff, that was awesome.
Well, that's what we've always talked about, is just building that community feel.
Yep.
And having the alumni come back.
Yeah.
They should be proud of what we're doing here and what they've done to grow the program in itself.
Sure.
So they should always be welcome back.
Yep.
I loved it because all I was doing was head coaching at the spring game. I wasn't coordinating.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of watching and seeing, because we wanted to try a couple new things in the spring game and see what could work and where we're going. That's what spring is for.
Sure.
Right. And we've kind of lost sight of that. But anyways, I heard you announce their names and what they're doing, and it was really exciting for me to hear that, because it's that's the purpose.
Yeah, when you call out a certain kid's name and you're watching these games, every week, and then they go on, it's you're proud of them.
Exactly.
You're not their parents, but we're part of the family.
Exactly. Well, it's the Gator family.
Yep. Well, let's talk about this season, the schedule, who we got at home, what we can look forward to. I know we got some tough opponents for sure this year, and some of our second game of the 2-game agreements and that sort of thing. So tell us about what we got to look forward to.
Yeah, so I agree with you. It's a tough schedule. It's a good schedule. It'll highlight our boys' athletic ability and our coaches' coaching ability, to be honest with you. But there'll be competitive games, and that's what you want. I don't want blowouts, and I don't want to be blown out.
Right.
But I want it so your heart races a little bit. Like, we don't know what's going to happen. We got to keep grinding.
Yeah.
That's football to me.
Yeah.
So this year, Victory Christian had dropped us. Don't know why. So we're not going to Victory Christian. But instead, we have Lake Mineola at their place to start the preseason.
Okay.
Because we had a 2-year agreement with Victory Christian. Things happen. I don't know. So I put a nice little change in there. And I'm excited to go there. I think that's a great area, great place to play some football. Then we come back home with River Ridge, against River Ridge. I like the schedule. Fred Reed, Coach Reed and I played together. He'll always be on the schedule. We bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah.
He's my guy.
Yeah.
Can't say enough good things about him.
Yeah.
So, but we'll be home against River Ridge. Then we're gonna go to Cypress Creek, which I think needs to be on the schedule. We have Williston this year at home. So yes, obviously a big challenge to play Williston. Yes. They went very, very far into the playoffs. I think they made it right before state.
Yeah.
So good. Let's put a measuring stick to see where we're catching up or if we're losing ground on them.
Yeah.
I thought it was a great experience. It took us, when we went there last year, on a bus trip, a long bus trip.
Sure.
It taught the kids that are going to college, hey, this is how college works. You're going to be on the bus.
Yep.
You got to be ready to go. So it was a fun trip. Obviously, I didn't like the outcome, but we'll see what we can change. Then we're away at Z Hills, and then we're home against Leesburg. Another little change to the schedule.
Yeah.
Obviously, between Lake Mineola and Leesburg, very storied programs in the past. I want us to play new teams and get a new feel and experience all kinds of football. Leesburg called me, said, "You want to do this?" I said, "Let's go."
Okay.
All right, it'll be fun. Then we're away at Mitchell. Then we have so I went back and forth, home away, until after our bye, and then we'll have 2 home games, Sun Lake, the Butter Bowl here,
okay,
and then against Nature Coast here, and then we have Wiregrass at Wiregrass, and we'll finish up the year at Chapel.
Interesting. Well, we're looking forward to it, and I really appreciate you taking the time to do this with us. I mean, it gives everybody some insight into
this is what it's about. I love doing it, and I'm very appreciative of all that you do for the program and the boys. This has been really fun. So,
well, wish you lots of luck over your summer program.
Sounds good. Appreciate you being here today. Good to see you. Yeah, thank you.